Good morning, everyone. There's still about a minute left of morning. Welcome to Talking Horses, the final week of the Belmar the Big A meet before heading to Saratoga. Greg Wolf, Andy Serling, how you doing?
Doing great, yeah. Looking forward to this final week. You're not here this weekend, right?
I am not.
2 more days of you.
Two
and
more.
then
You're
I'll
gone
see you
Sunday, I think, right?
Gone Sunday, so I got 3 days left.
And very, very good timing because we would not have been able to race Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, as obviously many of you know. It was pretty warm. Did you go out with the kids much? I was out in the city
had
a
to
lot.
walk to pick them both up on my own, and I struggled.
It was
stunning.
rough. Yeah.
Up
Yeah.
over 100 where I was, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was pretty warm, and but we're here and it's cooled down. So we're looking for this week of racing. The weather looks like it should hold up, so we feel like we're going to do well. Some good racing. We'll get right down to it. Head over to Naira Bets. Use the promo code bonus200, and we'll match up to $200 of your initial deposit play through Naira Bets. We have a contest, of course. You have the Friday feeder contest. $40 for that $300 contest Saturday. If you can't play the feeder, you can play the $300 contest, all of it, through Naira Bets. Get more information at nairabets.com/contest. You have till post time tomorrow to sign up for the feeder contest and post time Saturday for the $300 contest as well. We have a cross-country Big Five, some horseshoe Indy, some here. All these races will be on America's Day at the races from 1 to 5 on FS2. Race number 1. So we're going to start with My Magic Wand, who you like and I don't. I am against this horse.
Okay.
We'll show her win 2 back. She's okay, Greg. I could be wrong about her, but I feel as though she's gotten some biases in her favor. She's had some good trips in her races, and I just don't really want to just take her at a very short price in here.
Could be the case, but she has good tactical speed, so she has the ability to kind of make that trip for herself as well. And I just feel like
She does.
she had an excuse to go to the bench last time out. Landed's a very good filly who beat her for Wesley Ward, is a 3-time stakes winner. Obviously, something went wrong. She
The
gets
rail was
freshened.
good that day too. I mean, she did it. She was against the track
Yeah.
that day.
And the 2 races prior, whether aided or not, I feel they're superior to everyone else in this field, and she's shown a lot of talent from that 3 race in a row win streak, but certainly the last 2 wins. Look like everyone feels they need to step up to try and contend with her.
I wonder how their pace will go. She has speed, but Just the Facts Jack, who I like, I'll get to in a second, as well as Hilarito. What do you do with Hilarito?
She's interesting.
I mean, I would never bet a nickel on her off a 4.5 furlong 80 fig, a private purchase for David Jacobson. I have no idea what he paid for this horse. David Jacobson returning to New York to puzzle everybody because you really never know how his horses are going to run from one day to the next. I'm not going to fall for this horse, but isn't she going to be forward?
Absolutely. I mean, she is incredibly quick. She opened up 2 lengths on a field going Mountaineer or whatever, but it was 4.5 furlongs, as you said. She makes this race really interesting. I'm excited to see what she could do, but I wouldn't want to. I think My Magic Wand's superior. I think Sarir is just shown races at tougher circuits where she's going to be competitive.
Yep.
I would make Hilarito try and beat me.
Yeah, I don't want any part of Hilarito. I'm going to take Just the Facts Jack, who I think should be in a stalking position in here as well, can be forward. She got caught dueling the last race with Striker Has Dial race, who's turning into a stakes horse. And I thought her race 2 back was good enough to win this, and she wouldn't be favored. Bruce Levine's given her a little freshening, and hopefully she'll run well off the layoff. I'm trying to beat My Magic Wand. You are not. Race number 2. I thought both the first and second races were very tricky races, and we'll take a look at Cali Magic and Fast and Frisky running 1-3 back in February 27th. 3 back for Cali Magic, 2 back for Fast and Frisky. I have no knock on Cali Magic. I like you. I think she's the horse to beat.
That race, she's 7 years old now. And this race that she ran, 3 starts ago for her, that was one of the fastest races she's actually ever run in her career. And, she beat Dolomite, who Dolomite became a different filly, after this performance, obviously, who we'll get to later. It's going to run later in the card. But still, it was a nice victory. She's just faced a lot better company the last couple of starts. Caldwell Loves Gold, who's a 5-time winner, who's won almost $500,000. Sterling Silver, millionaire, who's won 9 times. She's getting a lot easier company here, and I still think with her tactical speed, outside of probably the 6, she's probably laying right behind that one, right?
Yeah, I mean, the Pace Projector has a braceable gal forward. I don't see it. I thought it would be Snappin' Buttons, who we'll take a look at here. You've got Snappin' Buttons second. I don't like Snappin' Buttons in here. I know she has this big win in the mud 2 races back, but I don't know. I thought speed was a bit of an advantage in that race, in that day. And if you take away this race in the mud, she's not even remotely fast enough to beat these horses.
Really?
That's what I thought. You think you disagree? The figures you look at are closer?
Yeah, she's competitive. I like the fact too. I mean, there was a total excuse for that last race. I like that she gets back on Lasix too. I think that might have been part of the
She
problem.
couldn't win last time. I mean, she had
And
no
yeah,
chance in there.
it was too tough a group.
Ridiculous
But
race.
also too, with her speed, I think she's dangerous from the outside.
Yeah, I'm not saying she can't win. I don't particularly like her. I'm going to give another chance to Mama's Got to Run. Thought Mama's Got to Run ran exceptionally well when she won 3 races back. She didn't break. She was against the track, and she ran really well. Now, obviously, she did not run well in her subsequent start, and then she didn't seem to handle a wet track in her last race, and she's run kind of mediocrely twice on wet tracks. So I'm hoping getting back to a fast track, if she can get back to that race 3 back, and the pace is at least honest in here, I feel that she has a chance to win at a fair price. Also want to mention David Aragona is on vacation this week, so the morning lines being done this week by somebody else. I've promised to be good and not knock them, but if you look at the morning lines and you don't agree, and I'm not knocking the person that's done them. It's a thankless job, and you're also asking somebody to do it that doesn't do it every day. It's not an easy job, and I'm sure he'll do fine, but it's not David doing the line this week when you see the morning lines. And I think the morning line maker caught a break in race number 3 because I think the Tactical Track Star would have been a heavy favorite in here. I didn't like Tactical Track Star, and I'm kind of disappointed that he scratches in this race. You and I have gone in the same direction. We'll look at Gray Ace's race second, 2 back last time, 2 back when finishing second. I think he's way the horse to beat in here, and I love the rider change to Ruben Silvera.
Yeah, it's a huge upgrade. It's a big drop in class, and this horse has shown ability against some very good horses. Debut had run against Rookie Card, who was a very good runner, and probably would have run a lot better in the Pasco if not interfered with. Treaty of Rome was second in the Mucho Macho Man. Just faced Captain's Cook in this race, and the Withers third in the Peter Pan, and shown ability against all those horses. Natural progression 2 to 3. I think Gray's going to be very dangerous in here.
I also think, you look at the race we just showed. This horse ran a 64 buyer, a 45 buyer, and a 63. That Georgia Magic race was slow. I'm not disagreeing with the fig in that sense. It is proven to be 15 to 20 points higher looking at the horses that came out of that race. So I don't believe that figure. I think this horse is consistently running numbers. And I also think with Ruben, you're going to get a more aggressive ride. And even though the pace projector doesn't have him in front, I don't agree. I believe this horse will be in front in this
I'm
race.
with, especially with that inside position, has to go from there.
Yeah, the way he's riding. We saw the 8, both saw it. I think that horse is dangerous, getting back on the dirt for Chad Summers. Ran against significantly better horses in his one dirt race.
T-Craft won that race, who won the Jimmy Winkfield. Actually ran very good in the Grade 1 Woody Stevens, too. And then 1/900, very talented sprinter for Tom Morley. That was a pretty loaded field. Ran very good on dirt with some speed in that debut. New gelding. A lot to like with Senior Punch.
I agree. I don't like Spirit Dragon, who's going to take some money in here. Opportunity Woo, with the third Mirage, all of them, of course. This is Rajiv's brother, right? This horse took money first time out. The chart comments at Laurel are very difficult to read. They don't really make much sense. But this horse does seem like he got to get bounced around at the start and had some trouble in there. The other problem was it looked like the rider just glued him to the rail. And looking through the race at Laurel that day, I think you were better off being outside. And this horse was not inside. He was right. He's like the rabbit at the dogs. He was right on the rail.
Yeah.
I thought he might be interesting. Greg Sacco's barn has done very well this year in New York. And I thought it might be like a fuzzy in here. Just a fuzzy. He might suck.
No, I initially had this horse a lot higher, and the big thing, this barn taking money against better first time out, even though it was at Laurel. Look, Gray Ace is no lock.
No, but I think he's the horse to beat.
But yeah, that horse is definitely a little interesting.
Race number 4, and we'll break after 4. This race was absolutely shredded by scratches. I'm not sure why they're all so afraid of Hero's Medal in this race. Obviously, he's dropping, but doesn't Hero's Medal now get hurt by the lack of pace because of the scratches? This race changed dramatically.
Gift, like serving this up on a silver platter with the 2, the 4, and to some extent the 3 all coming out to just hand it to the 7 in here.
He's loose.
I actually liked the 7 anyway before the scratches.
Okay, then you got screwed.
Yes, I did. But this horse now should be in
Still
front,
be the third
probably
choice,
alone.
Though. Still the third choice, I think.
I like this horse a lot today.
I think so. We'll look at Senegal, who ran the big figure 2 back. The problem with that buyer figure is it's incongruous with any race he's run. And he also lost this race at 3 to 5, and it just feels like he's had a lot of chances and doesn't get it done. So I prefer Hero's Medal to him. You prefer Senegal. I think Hero's Medal in the drop down is very dangerous. But I agree with you. Mo for the King. This race is his for the taking.
Yeah, they gotta go. I hope.
Oh, yeah,
From that outside and just be
Well, if he
aggressive.
doesn't go, the rider should stop riding here.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sorry, but
that will be the game plan. You have to think. I thought this horse Senegal was actually moving in a really good direction, and then just went completely backwards at Finger Lakes. Don't know what happened that day. Obviously, not the best of beginnings, but really not a huge excuse for that race. But hopefully, we can see the horse 2 back. Makes the horse very competitive.
he did break a couple lengths slow at Finger Lakes. I just think it took him completely out of the race, but obviously it was a bad effort. Jeremiah Englehart, though, and a bit of a rush with a big win in the Ohio Derby. That was some performance by Moplex.
Unreal.
Yeah, incredible.
I mean, the horse
Got
was
left,
still
took a right
finding
turn.
past the wire.
Yeah, that was a huge performance by him, and it makes it. I'm sure Jeremiah will be confident going along with him going forward. Albany, he's got to decide: do I want to take a chance with him and
Go big.
Is he going to go in the Jim Dandy against the big
Why
guys?
not?
Well, you can talk to Jeremiah. He might. You text him. I'll text him and tell him you think he should run in the Jim Dandy. We are going to take a break. We'll be back in just a moment with the late pick 4.
Horse racing? Check. Weekly promotions? Got 'em. Huge payouts? You bet. With Naira Bets. Download the app today and bet on any track, anywhere, anytime with live HD horse races, betting tips and tutorials, expert picks, and more. You bet with Naira Bets. Join now for a new member bonus at NairaBets.com.
Welcome back to Talking Horses. Greg and Andy, race number 5, another race that was absolutely shredded by scratches as well. And I'm disappointed because I wanted to bet on a horse in here that's now going to be a much shorter price because of the scratches. Everybody likes Silver Pearls. I guess she's the horse to beat off her debut in the turf.
Yeah, it was was only beat 2 lengths in a straight maiden race going 5.5 at Fairgrounds, and that was in the debut. And the horse who won that actually came back and ran second against a good group of winners at Churchill Downs on the stretch out. Dam started 3 for 3. Grade 2 Adirondack winner on the dirt, albeit. But the second Dam, 2-time winner on the grass, multiple stakes placed. There's talent in the pedigree. And I just think showed ability in that first start. And, they wanted to get back on grass. Last time out, it was washed off. Now they get back on grass. And I think it's going to be dangerous here.
Seemed like she may have broken a step slow. A little hard to see race at Fairgrounds because of all the trees.
Couldn't tell, yeah.
And maybe she had a little bit of trouble in the stretch, a little bit of traffic. I thought she ran fine. I am not against her at all. But I really like the 4, Midnight Love Affair, in this race. And I want to show the first race. Not only she lost to Love Severe, who's now won 2 stakes in a row, but take a look at this horse. She's the 4 in this race. And first of all, she gets left a good length and a half to 2 lengths here and ends up sort of settling the back of the pack. But she's going to make a significant run. And no knock on Lane Leslie, who's ridden very well, but she does get Javier Castellano for this race, which is not certainly a bad situation. And, Lane was dealt a bad hand in here. I don't think he did anything wrong. But this horse is going to make a long, sustained, wide run because he can never get away from the horse in blue inside of him. So he's 4 wide right now, and he's going to make this long 4 to 5 wide run. And he actually gets himself very, very close to the lead, as you're going to see. And I think this is one of these races that if you actually watch the replay, right now he's going to move to at least probably 5 wide at this point. He sort of gets right into the picture in here, and he makes a serious run to get there before understandably flattening out. But when you consider broke slowly, made this rush, a huge wide run, and this horse isn't even completely finished at this point. I thought this was a very good effort first time on the turf. And with a clean break, I thought this horse could be much more forward and could really be a player in here.
It shows you these turf races, too. That was a debut. You just don't know what you're going to get, right? She was 74 to 1 first time out with a better trip. I'm not saying she was going to win that race, but things could be different. She could have been part of the picture. She's very dangerous. You mentioned Love Severe. She came back to win to take the A train, the Alley Wow.
She went up in Canada. Were you weren't on with me. Acacia and I were on, and is a Miguel Clement horse. There was an inquiry against the horse, and so Acacia and I were watching. I think we were in a break on the show, and for the life of us, we could not figure out what the inquiry was about. They kept showing the start, where this horse was never anywhere near the horse that they were claiming against him with. It was the weirdest thing I've seen. Anyway, I like this horse. You've got new issue second. It's David Duggan Day.
Yeah, a lot of David Duggan for me. I just thought take a shot with a new face in here. The Dam was grade 3 placed on the turf sprinting, even though she was over 3. It's the first full to run. Pratt shows up, so I thought some things to like with a new face. Because some of the, I mean, beyond Silver Pearls, who's no lock in here,
There's not. I mean,
might
they're
be
gonna
ripe
bet-
for a new face.
They're going to bet Linda, and I'm against sheer will. I put her fourth because of the scratches in here. But this does the worst, doesn't. I mean, that's a war of will, but it's a broken vow Dam. It's not really turfy. And war of will, for what it's worth, he's just 2 for 40 with turf sprinters. So it's not like his turf sprinting.
Yeah.
His turf routers are doing much better. So this is not my cup of tea. And this horse is going to get bet because he's running figures that are fast enough to win this race on the dirt. There's no way this horse is going to be. This horse is going to be the clear-cut second choice, I think, in this race. Don't you agree?
Probably.
He's
yeah,
got the
probably.
5 a shorter price than this horse. Now, I'm not trying to beat the morning line, and I just don't see any way that Silver Will isn't a short
Yeah.
price in here, but we'll see. Race number 6. The thing about race number 6 is I want everybody to buy the book Alice Fantastic, since Alice Fantastic is running here.
Okay.
I've told you about it. It's the racetrack mystery. It takes place at Aqueduct.
Oh,
Written by my
what?
friend, the late
Do you
Maggie.
have it?
I have it somewhere buried on my shelf. I can
Okay.
try to find it for you. Finding books in my apartment is a very, very dicey situation because there are so many of them. It was written by Maggie Estep, the late Maggie Estep, who's a good friend of ours, and I'm a character in it. I'm Arthur. If anybody's read it, I'm Arthur in
Really?
that book. Yes, I am.
Okay.
Anyway, she did run better in her last race, but, I mean, if Starlight Dancer, who's 8 to 5 morning line and could easily be lower, runs back to her last race, she's going to win this race.
She was very good.
She ran super in here.
Super in here. Today's third off the bench, and I'm usually you start to see 4 seconds and 8 starts. I'm saying, oh, the runner-ups are starting to pile up.
They are.
They are, but she was so
This race was
superior.
so much
to-
better than any race she's
It was
ever
a
run.
big step forward for her. And you look at this race and you say, purest performance, is she going to turn the tables? I can't see it from this race.
Performance had a pretty good trip in this race, and she was wide every
Yes.
step of the way. The winner got a perfect trip up the inside.
3 to 4 wide
beat
the
her.
entire backstretch.
This was not Kendrick's fault. He was dealt a lousy hand with the post, and she ran lights out there.
Yeah.
I bet the winner was lucky. She should have won this race. I have no argument with that, and I think that Alice Fantastic will improve. It's second time for Andrew Lakeman. People aren't familiar with Andrew. He can train. He just doesn't get any horses. I mean, he was the original trainer of El Deal, who went on to win a Grade 1. He's a very, very good trainer. He just doesn't get really any chances here. So I don't think she's impossible to improve. My problem is I just didn't want to take Starlight Dancer at a super short price. She runs her last race. She's going to win. I'm not going to. I certainly would use her as an A in any multi-race bets. But I thought Atta Girl Addie. You take a look at her. Last time out was the first time she ran for Gustavo Rodriguez, whose barn's been very hot. I know he doesn't have wins on the turf, but his barn's been hot. You get Ricardo Santana. It is concerning. Gustavo's 1 for 30 in turf routes. That does concern me. But I don't think this horse ran that badly against what I thought might have been maybe a little bit better last time out. It
And
was
off
an
the bench,
improvement.
too.
Yeah, coming off a long layoff, has back races,
Yeah.
gets an inside post. So I put this horse on top to take a shot against the 9, but I'm not against the 9. You've got her second. You obviously don't disagree.
No, I thought coming off the layoff, she definitely has room to improve it in here. And, look, being hung out wide, Starlight Dancer, Trip might come into play here. But she is
didn't last
so
time.
much the horse to beat.
A week, the horse to beat.
It's tough to look past her.
I could not agree more with you. Race number 7's a fun race, and I think you got to decide what to do with Dolomite. And you and I both obviously respect her, but took a little shot against her. She's been in raging form. I think cutting her back a little bit to 7 and 6.5 really helped her chances. She's putting herself in the game in her races, and I don't have a knock on her. I just don't want to take her at 8 to 5 in this race. It's a tougher
This
field.
was a massive, massive turnaround. I mean, she'd never run anything close to this race before.
I think
and
Chad
all
was
of us-
running her too far. I honestly
Okay.
think, looking back on it, I've never talked to Chad about it, but I think he would agree. He kept asking her to go a little bit farther than her best.
She'd run 5 straight races at running basically thoroughgraph-wise the exact same figure, and then this just huge step up. I had a little bit of concern, too, because that day, it was such a fast race. There was another race, mile maiden special weight, where Hop Singh ran a 96 buyer, 134 and 2.
Well, he was coming out of that really live maiden race first time out.
Is there a chance maybe the track was playing a little bit fast that day?
Well, it was, but the figures still backs. I mean, the figures are high. I mean, sure, Durgraf must have this horse as a big
Super
figure.
high.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't have a knock on her. I mean, if you draw a line through her 2 mile and 8th race or 2 mile races, and she looks a lot different. And I just think she's a little better with less distance. I don't think she's terrible at a mile, but against quality fillies, she's a little bit up against it in here.
Okay.
You've got the big Calhouna. We'll take a look at her last race. You've got her on top. I'm not sure what to do with her, and I don't want to take a horse that's going to be overbet because Irad's riding.
I just feel like if Dolomite is not the filly we saw in that last start, she's not as good as this filly. But
That's fair.
there's a very good chance she is. But the big Calhouna, back-to-back races, and I feel like she's going to have first jump on Dolomite as well, where she's going the right way, just really putting together back-to-back big efforts. She's beat good fields, too. Patty Van Twinkle, solid. Spiteful Lily, who was third against Landed in a stake off that performance last time out. And again, yes, she'll have first run on Dolomite in this spot. And for me, Dolomite has to prove that she's the filly we saw in that last start. And if she is, Big Calhouna probably doesn't stand a chance.
I agree, but prior to her last race, her numbers don't really make her anything special in this race, and she's going to be a short price. And that's like you, I want to take a chance. Now, Cupid's Heart, we'll take a look at Golden Degree and Cupid's Heart last time, and maybe I'm a fool going to Golden Degree, and I'll get to why I like her in a second. Cupid's Heart, as usual, got left in here. Now, she had the rail, and that didn't help her, but I'm sorry, she gets left way more often than she doesn't. Also, to be honest, she really didn't run very well in this race. Now, she ran extremely well 2 races back, and I think her race 2 races back can win this race. But I worry about this effort, and I just feel like she's a bit unreliable. I know Golden Decree gave up a huge lead. She's got to get 7 again today, but she is lone in front, and she does have races that give her a chance to win this race. And I thought her last race might be a little bit better than it looks, even though she ended up losing the race, because she went pretty darn fast early. And maybe you have to just not get in her way and let her roll.
Yeah.
Maybe she's that horse. You just don't have any trust that she can hold on. She can be
I
faint-hearted.
love this race because Cupid's Heart, that race 2 back, I mean, she has massive ability.
Yes.
If she
But
can
she's
get out of
very
her own
frustrating.
way, I'm very excited to see what she can do, but she just rarely is able to put it together.
She's a 6-year-old who has had more stops and starts than any racetracks. A frustrating horse. What about Tricky Temper, who got so good at Saratoga? I kind of wonder if Jeremiah is getting a race into her and he thinks, she might blossom a little in Saratoga and then get her going forward there, do better in Saratoga. But the problem with her is she's got to run in some very tough spots or stake races because she doesn't have any conditions left against New York breds, and she's a non-winner of 2, and the competition just getting
She's
steeper.
faced some
and
really good fillies, hasn't she?
She
I
got
loved
good.
her as a 2-year-old filly back at Saratoga way back when. I really thought she was going to go on to be something very good. Hasn't panned out. But, yeah, she has ability, too. And I think, I believe, according to the workout reports, she has working strong coming
Jeremiah's
back.
on a bit of a rush, so maybe his horses are going to run better. We'll see what happens. A very, very competitive 7th race. Race number 8. Big scratch with Red Llama coming out, the George Weaver horse. We both have Tehila in front, and this was a rare race last time where the chart caller completely blew it. And the chart callers here are fantastic, and everybody misses things, and it happens. Last race of the day, I don't know what went on, but this horse had a wild trip in here as the number 10 horse. It's going long. She's run well going shorter. She has burned some money. I'm not totally confident. We'll take a look at that race, Eddie. That was a cue. We'll show the first 200 yards of it. I mean, she gets completely left. She gets bumped. She ends up in bad position. She gets rank on Manny. No surprise. She's so far back. I mean, look at her. Manny, it's not Manny's fault. I mean, she broke slow and she got bumped around, but look at her. And it's like Manny realizes, well, if I try to rush, where am I going with her? You know what I mean? She's wide. She's outside. She's ranked. That wasn't 200 yards, but thank you for that. Now coming into the stretch, she's going to get in nothing but trouble in the stretch. You see her, Manny even has horse at this point trying to come through inside. There was really nowhere to go, and she's going to get completely blocked in the stretch. Right here, Manny just puts the brakes on. This was a horse who had a monster trip last time out, and she could have been much, much closer.
I almost wish the sprints weren't there.
I know.
And it was just this race because really it sort of points out the reason to like her anyway, but then you throw in the turf sprints, and she's shown ability in all those races. Against some decent fields, too. Blossoming Erudite had won 2 of her last 3 on turf as a 3-year-old. She ran decent in all of them.
Second to Charlotte's Heart, who's very good.
Yeah.
I agree. I think she's probably a better sprinter. She figures to move her figures up from there.
2 to 3
now,
debut.
She's not going to be a big price, but she's good. I would watch, if I were you at home, watch her entire race last time. And, I mean, where else are we supposed to go in here? You've got Willful Mama second. I don't know, man. I thought she was bad last time.
I don't love her. I thought this race I think it's still very difficult. There's a lot of horses who can step up in here, but Willful Mama, I guess it just looked a little bit better. I like her as a closing sprinter coming in this spot here in the cutback. I actually liked her a little bit cutting back last start.
What about the 5, Sarah Snow? Don't want her turning back? First race off the bench?
I absolutely would be using her in multi-race sequences. I think there's many in here. It's hard for me to really say who's going to like it the best here in this spot is outside of Tehila.
The pedigree play is Ipsis, the one. Dam won a couple times. You got a horse that's the Factor. I mean, there's a half to a minor horse that won on the turf, but the Factor's a good turf influence. There's a ton of turf pedigree for Ipsis. That's my wise guy horse in here. And Ultra Cameo didn't run terribly last time.
Who?
I mean, did get a good trip. The 9, Ultra Cameo, got a good trip, but I thought it ran okay.
No, I agree. And then even, the stablemate at Tehila is going to get the inside post, will sprint for the first time in the cutback. The horse who won that race actually came back and
run second or third.
Second in a state bred A, other than improving the Beyer point, 4 points, 76 Beyer. So there's things
I don't
to
like this horse didn't get bet at all first time. That bothered me about this horse. This horse took absolutely no money.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens in this race. Wait, Greg is giving Jeremiah Englehart instructions on where to run.
What did he say?
Plex, I don't know. I said, Greg Wolf wants you to go right to the beginning. Jeremiah said, okay, that's what we'll do. I think he's lying, but
Dare to be great.
Again, yeah. Do you get all the credit if the horse wins?
I won't get none of the credit, and I don't deserve it.
I deserve very little of it. That's true. Anyway, it's been fun. Today's 8-race card. Looking forward to it. The show today, 1 to 5. Joe Bravo will be joining us for an hour. He'll be coming on around 1:20 after we get through the first race. Head over to Naira Bets. Use the promo code BONUS200. We'll match with $200 of your initial deposit. Head over to Naira Bets /contests. $40 feed in tomorrow. You have to post time tomorrow for the $300 Saturday. You don't want to play the feeder. You can play the $300 contest. All of it only through Naira Bets. Cross Country Big 5 between here and Horseshoe Indy starts at 3:43. All of those races will be shown on America's Day at the Races, 1 to 5 on FS2. Greg, thank you. Thank you for watching. Chris Griffin's up next with a reprise of the Scratches and Changes.
Horse racing? Check. Weekly promotions? Got 'em. Huge payouts? You bet. With Naira Bets. Download the app today and bet on any track, anywhere, anytime with live HD horse races, betting tips and tutorials, expert picks, and more. You bet with Naira Bets. Join now for a new member bonus at NairaBets.com.